Okay, we are now recording to the cloud and I'll go ahead and get started. Hey, hi, hello, everyone. My name is Niger Alim Jules, and I'm the Deputy Director for the USAID Donald M. Payne International Development Fellowship Program administered by Howard University. I'd like to first begin by thanking you all for joining us this evening for our technical assistance webinar. We hope you find the session to be both useful and informative as you look to complete the application for the 2024 fellowship cycle. With that, let's hop right in it, shall we? So before jumping into the application sections, I'd like to provide an overview of the USAID Foreign Service in the Payne Fellowship Program. So what exactly is the USAID Foreign Service? Well, Foreign Service Officers, or FSOs, are the core staff of USAID overseas offices called missions, and they provide shape and forward momentum to country and regional programs. USAID Foreign Service officers work on the front lines of some of the most pressing global challenges of our times, including poverty, hunger, injustice, disease, environmental degradation, climate change, conflict, and violent extremism. So, if you have a passion for development and being on the front lines or in the mix of global issues, as previously mentioned, you're definitely in the right place here. And as such, being in the right place at the right time, applying for the right opportunities, such as the Payne International Development Fellowship Program, comes with certain benefits, including an award of up to $104,000 over 2 years for tuition, fees, living expenses, and summer internships. That breakdown works out to be up to $24,000 per year for tuition and fees. Please note that some of our graduate program partners provide supplemental financial assistance to our fellows. Fellows also receive an $18,000 living stipend per academic year and up to $10,000 per year towards 2 summer internships, and that includes housing and round-trip transportation. The first internship is a 10-week summer experience, which includes a 9-week congressional internship on Capitol Hill. And then the second is a 10-week overseas internship at a USAID mission in between the first and second year of the graduate school. For the application, there is a focus and emphasis on development, your academic background, personal statement, your financial need, having your letters of recommendation, and community service and leadership experience. For eligibility, we do require that all applicants have U.S. citizenship by the application deadline, which is Thursday, October 26th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A 3.2 cumulative GPA on a 4.0 scale, and planning to enroll in a graduate program in fall of 2024 in an area of relevance to USAID's Foreign Service. The deadline for the 2024 cycle, again, is that October 26, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, it's Eastern Standard Time for those of you on the West Coast, Mountain Standard Time or Central, or International. Please make note of that. So now, the reason you've all joined us for the session this evening. The purpose of the technical assistance session is to walk applicants and prospective applicants through the online application. And second, to answer your questions related to the online application or any technical issues you've experienced using the system. So with that, now let's hop into the respective sections of the application. Beginning with the application portal. When you first create your account, you are taken to the application landing page. Here, you could begin the application, or if you've applied in previous years, you can see your previous and past applications, or if you have an open application for the current cycle, you can access your current cycle application. Your applications will appear in this section here, and you can use the drop-down to filter or to select the application that you wish to open and start. From there, once you start that application, you'll be taken to the first landing page within the application, which is for eligibility. This is the landing page where you will certify that you are aware of the requirements of the program and that you are telling the truth with regard to your eligibility. Again, that U.S. citizenship, dual citizens, please note that you are welcome to apply. You will need to use your U.S. Credentials, citizenship credentials, and naturalized citizens as well. You are welcome to apply, but you must provide the proof of that naturalization by the application deadline. That cumulative 3.2 GPA on a 4.0 scale, and again, that you're looking to start graduate school in an area of relevance to USAID's Foreign Service come fall 2024. So some things that you'll notice on this page includes the application summary. Here, you'll see your application ID number, you'll get the general information regarding the deadline, when you last updated, and as well as the application status. When you submit your application as final, meaning all sections are complete, you will notice that the application status will switch to final. Once it says that, there's no need to email us to check the status of your application. We have received it there. Note, the green check marks that you see on the application in this preview here, this indicates that you've completed all of the required information on the page and you saved it as draft. You want to be sure as you move through the application, each section, each tab, that you're saving as draft. There is no automatic saving in the application. The tabs that are in gray indicate that you have an additional required information to complete. I'm going to take a second and pause here for a moment. You'll see that the application status here says final, and all sections, with the exception of the recommender section, have green check marks, meaning the applicant has submitted it all, and the recommender section is still outstanding. Applicants can submit the application even though the recommenders have not completed the have completed their recommendation just yet. What does this exactly mean? So if you completed all the other sections, no need to wait for your recommender. Submit the application because you're a complete thorough, you've provided your uploads, etc. And follow up with your recommender to ensure that they can complete their respective recommender section for you. Each recommender, and we'll discuss this in depth during the recommender section, but they will receive an individual unique link for them to log into their system, provide our rankings on your character traits, and also upload their letter of recommendation. You will not, again, the biggest piece regarding that submission is making sure that their letters of recommendation in that section turns green to the green check mark by October 26th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that, let's move on. So the applicant details is the very next section after the eligibility landing page. This is where the personal statement lives. It's located about halfway down the page. And as a reminder, it is a requirement of a maximum, there's a requirement of no more than 600 words max. So please be sure to write your statement in an outside word processor, so Microsoft Word or another processing system, and check for grammatical errors, and to ensure your text is within that 600 maximum word count. Because if it is cut off, then the panel will not be able to understand that thought that you were trying to convey in that piece. The section after the applicant details is the education section. Here, you want to enter all of the colleges and universities that you've attended. How far back should you go? Well, transcripts from all colleges and universities the applicant has attended for credit, where you took 6 or more credit hours, which is equivalent to about 2 courses, including study abroad, are required to be listed here. What's important is that you want to upload your university generated transcripts as well. An official transcript would be best. However, a student copy or unofficial transcript is acceptable. Unofficial transcripts that we accept are those pieces from your student portal, as well as any official electronic transcripts that you, the applicant, had already received on your end and then decided to upload there. We term it unofficial at that point because for it to be official, for it to be an official electronic transcript, it must be received directly by our staff and attached to the application. So at this stage, we are accepting your unofficial transcripts, your uploads there, which is the more expedient way to submit your full application by the application deadline. If you are selected for an interview, please note that we are having an entirely virtual final round in fellow interview process this year. So we will continue with a virtual selections process this year. You will have to provide that official transcript. And if it is a physical transcript, meaning that your institution does not generate or use an official secure online registrar type of service to generate official electronic transcripts, you must send the signed, sealed envelope to our staff in advance of your interview once you're notified that you're selected as a finalist. And we'll provide the mailing instructions and information there for those of you who have that type of situation with your institution. Official electronic transcripts, again, are accepted as well, but they must be sent from the institution directly to Payne Fellowship at paynefellows@howard.edu. No worries, I will provide this email address in the chat shortly. Note, applicants will need to combine all of their transcripts into one PDF and upload them to the application. One of the things that you want to be aware of in the education section as well, again, you want to, for any transcript that you're providing to us, you want to be sure that, again, the institution is listed in the education section. Also, note that some of your majors and minors may not appear exactly as you entered them. It's okay, we have a drop-down feature here. So please try to get as close as possible to the overall umbrella of your degree program, be it major or minor. Okay, little technical difficulties up. Okay, here we go. The next section of the application is the employment section. Here you can add your paid and unpaid volunteer experiences, etc., and any experience that is essentially relevant to development, the work of USAID, or international affairs. Please note that work and volunteer experience outside of international affairs and development is also extremely welcome. You want to highlight your accomplishments here, any responsibilities or leadership roles, supervisory capabilities, etc. Please note that for those of you who are outside of the continental US and have worked outside of the US, please choose under the state section, other. The state section you will not get the complete green check mark if that piece isn't selected there if you're entering an international address. So next is the details section. And here we have like your personal highlights. And this is the application section for you to add any additional career and personal highlights. The section is not intended to be an additional essay, but is a place for you to highlight the things that you've done. Okay, so this can be as simple as a list of, okay, I've done this, this, that. We've seen it done in a multitude of different ways, be it bullet points, numbered, etc., or a brief narrative. Again, I cannot stress this enough, a brief narrative. Please pay close attention as you will only have 200-word limit for each of these respective sections. Also, please avoid the use of acronyms. Just because you may know what the acronym may mean does not mean the panel evaluating your application will understand its meaning or the organization's importance. So remember that, please. Spell it out when in doubt. We will also ask about your graduate school plans and give you a space to enter about 4 institutions you may be considering applying or have applied. In the degree details section, you will be asked, when will you complete the graduate degree program of your choice? Be sure that your anticipated program and graduation date reflects the Payne Fellowship requirement of the 2-year duration, culminating in the conferral of your graduate degree in late spring. Please note that the submission of the GRE or GMAT is optional, and candidates submitting will not have a competitive edge over those who do not submit this optional item. So we welcome it. In the selection panel, we'll review it, et cetera, but there will be no additional competitive edge given over there. So rule of thought. The biggest piece, financial information. So in this section, the financial detail section lives the financial need statement, the statement of financial need, which is about 400 words there. And we also require the entrance of the line items from your student aid report in this section. So again, this is the area where you will need to have your FAFSA student aid report, and we're currently accepting for 2022, 2023, so last academic year, or for 2023, 2024 academic year. We ask that you enter the information reported again from your student aid report in this section, and as you get to that section, you'll see that the questions sort of kind of coincide with your SAR, your student aid report. And if you have any questions about that piece or one of the line items on the financial details section matching up with something on your student aid report, please email paynefellows@howard.edu. Again, also located in this section is where the required 400-word statement of financial need is. This can be a list or a brief narrative. What is most important about the financial statement is that it conveys what the numbers from the FAFSA student aid report can't tell, or shows your need for aid in the support of this type of fellowship for graduate school. Also, please avoid acronyms in this statement as well. Just because you know what they mean does not mean that our selection panel may know what they mean. The recommendation section. For the recommender section, be sure you have the correct preferred contact information for the intended recommender. You should be asking these individuals first prior to just entering their information on the application and sending them that request automatically there. You want to be sure that they can receive it. Some faculty may, or supervisors, et cetera, may choose to use personal email addresses over their work email addresses, or vice versa, et cetera. So please check with your recommenders prior to entering their information. One, that they're okay with recommending you for this fellowship opportunity, and two, that you have their correct and preferred contact information there, because that will be extremely important. You'll receive a notification on your screen as well, and via email when the request has been initiated to your recommender. We advise that you first enter all the intended recommender's information and then save as draft before initiating the request. Your recommender is required to upload the letter and rate your character traits in the system. Please note that recommenders will have only 2 weeks to access the link once you have initiated the request via the portal. After that time, you will need to reinitiate the request to your recommender if they have not accessed the portal and uploaded their ratings and their official letter of recommendation. If your recommenders indicate that they have not received their letter of recommendation request link, please have them check their spam junk folders first before reinitiating the request, if the link is still active, i.e. meaning that it's within that 2-week span. If the link is not active, please reinitiate the request and and if they still do not receive that link, please have your recommenders email paynefellows@howard.edu, and our staff will provide the alternate ranking form required with instructions for them to complete and return the form with their official letter of recommendation for staff to upload. We'll handle that piece on our end. Once we've uploaded the letter of recommendation, we will also confirm send a confirmation to the recommender that we have received this piece, no additional action is required, and notify the applicant as well that we've received their letter of recommendation. You can come back at any time up until the application deadline if you need to make changes to your recommenders. And please, again, have your recommenders check their spam or junk folders. Some institution security walls or firewalls may be set to automatically bounce and block automated generated requests, and especially one from a system such as ours. So if that's the case, even if after you reinitiate it or you notice that one is in and the other one isn't, have them email us directly so we can provide them with the form, and they can get that back to us with their official letter of recommendation. So the uploaded material section is after that. Here is the section where you will essentially upload all your required documents. That includes your transcripts and proof of citizenship. Again, your unofficial transcript is okay. It's perfectly fine and it's expected at this stage. Please be sure, however, to check the size of your documents, and also please be sure to combine your files if they're going for the same section, i.e. if you have multiple transcripts, combine those multiple transcripts into one PDF. Please note that there are plenty of websites that allow you to combine like files for free. Simply just do a Google search for combined PDFs for free. Unfortunately, Payne staff cannot make recommendations on which websites to use, but they're pretty much all the same and very much straightforward there. So again, if you have multiple transcripts, combine them into one PDF and then upload them in the upload section here. Be sure that your photos are clear. So don't just snap a pic of your passport or your birth certificate and upload it. Please verify that you can see it or scan it, especially if you're doing a scan to upload and the scan is black and white. Predominantly, you want to make sure that the clarity there is very clear. If not, we will have to circle back around and have you provide a resubmission of the material or a different proof of citizenship or the documents that we'll need there. And again, be sure that your name is clearly on each document. So this really applies for, again, the proof of citizenship. We should clearly see your name, and it should match your application. On your transcripts, we should clearly see your name on your unofficial transcript on your unofficial transcripts uploaded for each institution. If it's screenshots that you're using from your student portal, it should somewhere have your name, etc. All of that piece will need to be captured for us there so we can verify. Let me see what else. And again, remember to please check the sizes of your files. If the file size is too large, you cannot upload zip files, unfortunately. You will have to work on sizing down that document there. And again, Google can be your best friend in finding different types of free softwares and things to resize and to combine documents as you need. So some tips and suggestions. Uploading files. PDFs are actually the most helpful, and it makes the process for evaluation for the finalist stage very, very easy for both our staff who reviews for eligibility and then the selection panel who will be reviewing the taking a holistic approach in reviewing all your essays, the individual contents of the recommenders, your numbers from the FAFSA, et cetera, et cetera. PDFs are the most helpful, not Word documents. And also, please advise your recommenders as well. Again, PDFs are the most helpful. Can't stress this enough. Combine multiple PDFs, i.e. for your transcripts. You can do that by scanning. There are also plenty of smartphone apps as well. If you have Apple products or iPhone and also many Samsung ones as well, you should be able to scan via your notes, et cetera, and combine those files. So that can simple as a 1, 2, 3, and they're already electronically up there. File names should be simple, no apostrophes, commas, or other type of characters. When in doubt, keep it simple, such as your first name, last name, transcript, or first name, last name, student aid report, or SAR. First name, last name, GRE, whatever items that you're uploading there. Complete your personal statement in a Word document process or word processing, or another word processing system first to check for grammar and spacing and word count. You want to be sure, one thing to note is that the paragraph in the space formatting will not look the same when you copy your statement of financial need or your personal statement over from that processing, word processing or other word unit there into the application. It will be a tad bit shifted, etc. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. That's fine. What's important is that the word count is appropriate and your grammar, there aren't any grammatical errors, because that is essentially what the what matters really in the evaluation, not the shifting of a sentence or two. For your letters of recommendation, if the recommender, again, does not receive the email notification, i.e. the recommender's requests, you can forward their request, a copy of the email that you have received as another option, or again, reinitiate said request, or have them reach out to Payne Fellows at howard.edu directly, and we can provide them with an alternative method for the submission of your letter of recommendation and ranking. Please note that both letters of recommendation must be submitted by October 26, 2023 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everyone, that's a Thursday, okay? That's a Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set your clocks, add your calendar reminders, do whatever you need to do to be sure that you do not miss that application deadline there. You can change the recommender information at any time up until the application deadline, okay? Also, if you do change your recommender, please notify your original recommender first, because they may try to go into the system and upload or complete the recommendation finally, and they won't be able to, and they'll email us asking us why they can't. And if we go into the system and see that you've updated that recommender's information, change it to somebody else, we will notify them to contact you directly. And you'll have to, again, so we're pointing them back to you, and you will have to have that conversation with your recommender on why you switched them out, or, you know, what happened there, et cetera. But please have that conversation with them first, get in touch with them first before just making that change in the system. Make sure that your documents are legible and your name is visible. Can't stress that enough. If we do not see your name, or we cannot make out your name on your documents, we will ding it in the eligibility review piece. And we will have to follow up with you to resupply whatever those materials may be. And as far as addresses, which is a big one, international addresses must still select other under the state question there. So you won't be able to complete that section if you are living abroad, et cetera, without a state designation, unfortunately. And considering you're be abroad, you won't have state. So please select other there, and then please continue to enter your international address. Oh, no, did it freeze here? Okay. I think I did. Okay, here we go. Application checklist. So some things that you want to be sure that you have, again, give you some tips and things, but this is the real checklist. Up to date personal profile information. You want to make sure that we have your current legal name, your one thing, speaking of legal names, those who might have had recent name changes, where your proof of citizenship may be different from like the name you've entered on your application. A lot of 9 times out of 10, it tends to be because of marriage, etc. Marriage or divorce, whatever the situation, or other life circumstances. Please upload your name change document with your proof of citizenship. Does that make sense? So you'll need to combine if your proof of citizenship is different from what your current name is now. We'll need that name changed, like if this is the last name, etc., or you change your entire name piece there, just so we can have that piece there. Also, be sure for the U.S. citizen question, you have to be sure that that is checked. Yes, again, the fellowship program, we are using federal funds, and it culminates with employment in the Foreign Service of the U.S. Agency for International Development. All of our fellows do go through and must pass security clearance and medical clearance in order to work for the U.S. Foreign Service. And with that, there is extensive checks, etc. And because of that, you must be a U.S. citizen for this fellowship. Now, again, are dual citizens welcome to apply? Absolutely. Please note that during the entire duration of the fellowship program, you will have to use your U.S. Credentials, as well as when you transition and start your official employment with USAID, you will have to continue that piece there under your U.S. credentials when under orders for the U.S. government there. Naturalized citizens are also welcome to apply. The statement of interest in financial statement, your financial needs statement, please be sure again to proofread. Proofread. Get others to read your personal statements. There's been fellows in the past who found success, well, obviously fellows, by having mentors or those within their community and other networks review their personal statements and financial needs statements and provide a different perspective there. So that's another thing that you really want to do to really stand out, right? It can get a little bit tiresome. You might not, it may seem perfect to you, but another set of eyes might do you well, be it grammatically and also content and intent wise, right? Be sure to include your academic and career highlights. Brag about yourself. It's a nationally competitive fellowship opportunity here, and you're all bright, smart, talented individuals. And we want to know, and our selection panel absolutely wants to know about all of the phenomenal things that you've done, both in your career, if you're a professional, and also in your academic career, if you're a current student or a recent graduate, etc. Education history is important, and it should reflect what is on your transcript. Again, if you provide us multiple transcripts, we'll be looking that your education history matches up, and you've listed those institutions there as well. So if you've attended more than one institution, your education history should include more than one institution in that tab, in that section there. Next, transcripts from every institution attended. If you received credit from an institution, you should plan to submit a copy of the transcript. If the transfer credit is on your current institution's transcript or your home institution, meaning the institution where you will receive your undergraduate degree, or you have received your undergraduate degree for those alum and professional individuals. If that credit is on that transcript but does not have a grade associated with it, you will need to submit a transcript from the other institution there, so we can see those set of grades there. If the transcript has the transfer credits and the grades, you do not need to submit a separate transcript from the institution. Does that make sense? So let's say you go to X, Y, and Z University, and you started at JBL Community College, and you transferred over 60 credits into your XYZ University, right? If those 60 credits show on the transcript with the letter grades there, you will not need to provide the transcript from the community college. If those 60 credits are shown as transferred in from JBL Community College, and we don't see any grades and we do not have JBL's transcript, you will need to provide that transcript there. Okay. Copy of your proof of citizenship. So proof of citizenship can include a copy of your birth certificate, a copy of your passport photo page, or a certificate of naturalization citizenship. Please note, a driver's license and or a social security card will not count as proof of citizenship, and you will need to provide the proper proof of citizenship, which is one of the 3 items I mentioned before: birth certificate, the copy of the passport photo page, or your certificate of naturalization for citizenship. Okay. Also, please, really, do not send social and driver's license. Do not upload that at all to the application portal. Also, your application will not be considered complete until we receive both of your letters of recommendation. So you're responsible for sending updates and keeping track of where your recommenders are in the process of submitting. If they're incurring issues in the submission process, i.e. not receiving the link or missing the link is timing out because they're waiting so long, etc., please have them email, again, paynefellows@howard.edu, and our staff can provide the alternative ranking form and have them complete that form and provide back with their official letter of recommendation, which our staff will upload to your individual applications there. Okay. So where does this leave us? 2024 Payne Fellowship Cycle Next Steps. We invite you to please visit USAID's website to learn more about the career and the foreign service of USAID, and visit our website, paynefellows.org, to learn more, again, about our fellowship process as you're moving through this period. Some upcoming webinars, these are our most exciting ones. Everyone waits for these. It's Backstop Week is approaching, beginning next week, October 10th through October 19th, from beginning at 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having different webinar sessions hosted virtually, of course, like this via Zoom, where we'll be inviting our USAID colleagues, their backstop coordinators, to speak about the career backstops, which are essentially the tracks in which our fellows will enter into USAID's foreign service there. So first up, on October 10th, we have the contracting officer, finance officer, and executive officer backstops. So please join October 10th if you're interested in any one of those career backstops with USAID, or if you'd like to learn a little bit more about it to see, okay, could you be interested in any of those backstops? Following that, we'll have program officer, private enterprise officer, and agricultural officer on October 12th. And then the week after, it'll be education officer. These are all on Tuesdays and Thursdays, everyone. So just, we're keeping that theme there. Tuesdays and Thursdays beginning at 6:30, running till 7:30 p.m. Then we'll have the education officer, nutrition, health nutrition officer, and environmental officer on October 17th. And lastly, wrapping it up with humanitarian assistance and crisis officer and crisis stabilization and governance backstop officer presentation on October 19th. Please be sure, if you haven't already, to complete the 2022-2023 FAFSA Student Aid Report or the 2023-2024 FAFSA Student Aid Report immediately, because it is required. FAFSA tends to take about a week to 2 weeks after you complete the FAFSA there to generate that student aid report, and you don't want to run up on the application deadline day or missing it, essentially. Again, all materials should be uploaded to your application by the application deadline, which is October 26th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And please monitor the submission of your letters of recommendation by the said deadline. With that, you can contact us at, again, paynefellows@howard.edu. Visit our website, paynefellows.org, and our application website if you haven't started an application yet at apply.paynefellows.org. I'll take a moment to pause, and I'm going to switch over to the chat. I have a few questions that have come in here that I'd like to answer. Let's see here. Bank stop. Yes. So thank you. We have a question here. Someone noted in the application, it might be a little wonky for the choosing of the career backstop interests, be it preference 1 or preference 2, noting that the population health and nutrition officer and the private enterprise options are grouped together in a single line. Thank you for noting that. If you could do me a favor, send me an email of your specific preference. I'll forward that up to our developer so we can fix that that designation there. They should be 2 separate line items there. So you can select either the population health and nutrition officer or the private enterprise officer. And we'll make the correction once the update has been made by the developer. Thank you. Also, question here. Please indicate which year of the financial data you're using. Should we put the FAFSA year for 2023, 2024, or the year of data being pulled 2021? So it should be the year of the student aid report. So if your student aid report is generated and it'll say at the top 2022, 2023, SAR, X, Y, and Z, that'll be the information that you're indicating there. If your student aid report says 2021, 2022, we are not accepting the 2021, 2022 academic year student aid report. We will need it to be the 2022, 2023, or 2023, 2024, which is the more recent one piece there. Question here, when I list out highlights, should I give background information on the awards and scholarship? I've seen it done a number of different ways. We give you the freedom and flexibility to choose. The most important thing here is to remember to be consistent. So what does that mean? So if you start listing in one section, highlights, list in the other sections. If you start, if you're writing like a brief narrative, like a couple sentences, etc., be consistent in that piece. If you do like a list, like such and such award, and then a sentence on such and such award or accolade X, Y, and Z, be consistent in your layering, in the response sections of the other sections as well there. Okay. All right. I'll take a moment to see if we have any questions from anyone, live questions. See, there aren't any other in the chat here. Please don't all shout out at once. Well, the application is fairly straightforward, I will admit. Oh, yes. Genevieve, please.
Hi, thank you so much for hosting this. This has been extremely helpful and clarifying. I asked the question about the FAFSA just because, and I really appreciate your clarity, but I just kind of want to clarify one more time that so the 2023-2024 FAFSA is generated by tax documents from
Yes.
2021.
Yes.
And so when they say the year of financial data that I'm using, should I say 2021? Because that technically is the financial data, or should I say 2023-24 because that's the FAFSA year?
Yes, you should say 2021. I'm sorry. I thought the question was on you having the alternate year of the student aid report. So yes, you would be following the generated financial data from and a lot 9 times out of 10, like even when you complete the FAFSA, it'll port over, or most will port over from the IRS, and it'll use the most recent tax year, or the last, cyclical tax year, depending upon the timing in which you're applying for the FAFSA there. So yes, whatever that information is porting over for you for your 2020, I think you said you do have the 2022-23, correct?
I'm in college still, so I have the 23-24 year.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for the clarity.
Yep. Do you have any other questions, comments, concerns about the application? Okay, so I will want to just, oh, yes, Genevieve, please.
Wait, thank you so much for indulging. I have just one more question, kind of following off of Suzette's question. In terms of the highlight section, there, and you addressed a little bit, but do you are is the application kind of expecting a 200-word elucidation, or is it just like just give enough so that they can understand the very bare minimum of what this line is?
Right, that's exactly it. You don't have to, if you hit the 200 word, okay, that's fine. But again, just enough to for the selection panel to understand your engagement there in the respective sections, right? And anything that you're trying to highlight. If it's not, I mean, I've seen bullet points that were very clear. You know, some individuals have taken, you know, pulled things straight from their accolades directly from their resume. You know, and just copied it over in those bullet points where, you know, and I've seen it in another way where individuals wanted to expound upon specific, granted they might have had a lot, like an extensive, you know, experiences or whatever, but they use the full 200 to expound upon to expound upon a specific experience or highlight in their, be it academic or professional type of careers. Mhm.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Well, if we do not have any additional questions, again, this recording will be made available within 48 hours. You can visit the Payne Fellowship YouTube channel there for this full recording. And our other recordings, including the past recording, which was done on September 21st on a Life as a Payne Fellow and the work of a career with USAID, which was a very, very good session there. So for those of you who've missed that, it'd be really nice to revisit that piece and hear some words from Payne Fellows about the experience of the fellowship, as well as some from current USAID employees and former employees about their experience in working with the agency and how rewarding and enriching that piece is. With that, again, I thank you all so much for joining this evening. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email. I'm going to drop it in the chat because I kept saying I was going to drop it in the chat and I hadn't. paynefellows@howard.edu. And if any of you have any specific questions for yours truly, please email me at the nashir.latimer@howard.edu, which I've dropped in the chat there for you as well. Again, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you all for joining.
Thank you so much.